My name is Kristen, and my dad is George. He was born and raised in the Siskiyou Mountains on the Scott River. He loved his mountains. He was a mountain man. When he was in late high school, he moved to Sacramento, where he met my mom, and they had 3 children, raised us all. Dad retired, and he was back to his mountains. He did not like Sacramento one bit. He said we had horrible, smelly air, way too many people and cars, and he loved the mountains. That's where he wanted to be. He came to our house for Christmas 3 days every year, and that was it. Only time we could get him out of there. In August of 2012, my dad was driving on a Friday. He had declined that year. We thought maybe he was aging. He was 74, and something was different, but we just thought it was the aging process, but we had seen him declining quite a bit. By Tuesday, he was admitted into the hospital in Wairika. From Friday to Tuesday, he had horrible diarrhea, extreme weakness. My mom was having a hard time getting him out of bed to eat, to use the restroom, and eventually he wouldn't get out of bed to use the restroom or to eat. So Mom called 911, and they took him to the small hospital in Wairika. Our experience with that hospital, my family went up to be with them, is the hospitalist had given him a diagnosis of a bladder infection. They had him in the hospital for 4 days, and while he was there, they did not perform any other tests on him. And I told them that my dad was not a man who liked to go to the doctor. Could you please, maybe do a colonoscopy, check his prostate? He's, isn't doing well. Something's really off here. And the doctor informed me that I needed to take care of my dad and be his daughter and let him do the doctoring. And I truly felt, and I've said many times, we would have been better off in a veterinary clinic. It was just horrible. We couldn't wait to get him out of there. So they had discharged him. He still was very weak. He needed to go to rehab in Medford. And the day that we went to go pick him up to take him to rehab, my dad wasn't in his bed. And we couldn't find, my mom and I, he was on the other side of the bed on the floor. Nobody had known he was on the floor. We have no idea how long he was there. And because of this incident, they had to do a CT scan of his head to see what had happened, if he had fractured anything. So that is when they discovered his head was just full of lesions. We didn't know what at all, and the hospitalist had told us if he was his father, just to take him home, call hospice, and let him die at home. And we're like, and we weren't okay with that because we didn't know what it was. Treatments, we needed to find out what was going on. So that's when we decided to bring him to Sacramento. My family set up our living room. We made it a hospital room. We left Wairika without a primary care. We didn't have anything established, but a very sick dad. And so he went to Eschaton Rehab for a short time to gain his strength. And while he was there, he hallucinated a lot. He had night terrors. He had what's called sundowners, and it was truly like leaving a 5-year-old child at kindergarten. He was so afraid at nighttime, and that was very difficult for us. Yeah, he thought every day he'd be anxious to see us because he thought we were executed the night before he had heard that. So it was very difficult. So when we were able to bring him home, he was home for a short time. We did see Dr. Ong. Tracy had told us about Dr. Ong, and she did see my dad, but very shortly after that visit, my dad got another bladder infection, and he began hallucinating again. I knew from past experiences that I wanted my dad to be at center. So I got him into the car. He was so weak, hallucinating. I think he was uroseptic